ourselves. Recently, 2 TikTok videos by medical professionals have gone viral, and not for good reasons. Are these truly mocking patients, or are they just innocent jokes? Let's see for ourselves. Being on social media as a public figure is hard enough on its own, but being a medical professional on social media is even harder. Look, I'm a board-certified family medicine physician. I've been doing social media for 5+ years, over 9 million subscribers, over 400 million views on this YouTube channel, and I'm still figuring it out. So I'm not surprised that medical professionals who are just getting into social media are already making some mistakes and taking some heat for it. What I thought we'd do today is watch the 2 videos that have garnered a lot of negative buzz, discuss my thoughts on those videos and what should happen moving forward, and then leave you off with some tips that I believe would help anyone, but especially medical professionals, navigate this tricky social media landscape. Let's check the first one out that made national headlines. The tweet that this came from actually says, "We know when y'all faking," with a few laughing emojis. This is frustrating. I'm all about being able to laugh at ourselves, about finding humor in dark places. I've said time and time again, I try and lighten my patients' mood by making jokes quite often, even patients who are the most sick, and to be honest, they usually appreciate it. However, this is a strong however. When I walk into a patient's room, I don't just blindly make a joke. I first develop a rapport with the patient, understand where they're coming from, pick up their verbal and nonverbal cues. Then I say the joke, and then I pick up those cues again to see how the joke landed. It doesn't always land, but at that point I can readjust or explain. When you post a video like this to social media where millions of people can see it, now you've lost the ability to pick up on context, the ability to explain yourself to everyone watching it what you really meant. There's such a fine line of humor in medicine that you really just need to be careful, especially in this day and age where there's a growing distrust of medical professionals by the general public. In fact, there was a huge segment on this with John Oliver covering medical bias, and it really explored how women, and specifically women of color, are actually disbelieved disproportionately when it comes to their symptoms. And then a video like this comes out, it stokes that fire right away. There's just a way to do tasteful comedy, and this was just a miss for me. Let's take a look at the second video, which I found through Twitter, but it was initially posted to TikTok by the username Mercy Medical. I usually like to blur the account names and people's faces, but this video has been viewed millions of times, and I think the facial expressions actually contribute to the feel of the video, so let's just take a look at it together. I can definitely see how from one perspective, if you're watching this as someone who's maybe had symptoms that have been written off by medical professionals, how that can trigger you easily. If I went to an ER and was saying, I feel like I have symptoms of a heart attack because I looked it up online, and a doctor rolls their eyes and says, is it cocaine? I would be pretty upset by that. Yes, patients get their illnesses wrong. They're not doctors. Yes, they're gonna recite to you something they read online that's gonna be inaccurate, but they're not doctors. Now, if this person was a comedian doing this, I don't think anyone would actually be mad. But when you're the person who's supposed to be taking care of people, when they're in the most insecure moments, when they're the most frightened, and you're poking fun of that situation, there's a line there that gets crossed. This video actually came on my radar from a post by Sarah Mojarad that reads as such. Posts like this jeopardize the public's trust in medical professionals. Why? Symptoms aren't taken seriously. She's profiled the person based on age. Patient may have Googled symptoms to avoid trip to the ER. Don't make fun of patients. It is and always will be unprofessional. I actually spoke with Sarah Mojarad right before making this video to discuss this feed that really blew up. I think this video has something like 7 million views now, and there's over 1,000 comments, nearly 100,000 retweets, and we discussed what has come of the conversation so far. What many doctors initially said when seeing this video was that no doctor should be on TikTok and probably not on social media altogether. But what Sarah told me was that upon hearing all of this critique of doctors being on TikTok, she started coming across examples of doctors doing a great job educating on TikTok and other social media platforms. In fact, a lot of the people she told me are names I've either met in person, come across on YouTube or other platforms that truly do evidence-based, educational, and even fun content. I'm actually gonna drop all their handles in the description box so you too can check them out. I'm not the only doctor on social media making videos. And in general, I want more doctors on social media. Not all of them, we don't all need to be there, but certainly there's a lack of quality evidence-based physicians on there because misinformation is thriving. In fact, social media has become a misinformation superhighway where someone makes a thread titled "Carrots Cure Cancer," it goes viral because of the algorithms, and now there's no counter information to it. But if we have enough doctors that have a good reach, engaged viewership, they can now put out counter information to educate patients. Is this carrot article true? Is it true that you can detoxify your body? We can make a difference. There's over 3 billion people logged in online across the world. We have to, as doctors, go to where our patients are. And right now, they're on their phones, iPads, laptops, computers, and they're on social media. So we need to log on, figure out how to reach them, figure out how to get these algorithms to share our content, and do the best thing we know how: educate and practice preventive care. Since I want more medical professionals online, I thought that within this video, I can give 5 tips that anyone who's in the medical field that wants to start a medical account should take into serious consideration. I, in fact, made this list when I was doing my presentation for the Mayo Clinic on social media, so I hope you enjoy it. All right, let's kick it off. Rule number 1, if you post it, assume everyone will see it. This means your coworkers, hospital staff, patients, family members of patients, all of the above. And not only will they see it, it will never be permanently deleted. I just came across a website that actively stores all Instagram stories that like profile accounts with more than 5,000 followers forever. Just think about that for a second. You could post something, change your mind 5 seconds later thinking no one saw it, but it forever lives in that database. There was a recent case of a first-year doctor who also got in trouble on Twitter by making a post on, I believe, Instagram, where he sort of put a picture of him looking quite sultry with the caption saying, "Ready for your well woman exam."